At this time, I'm very excited to announce our keynote speaker. She is a distinguished USC Gould alumna from the JD class of 1993, and her work reflects a dedication to professional and community impact that are the hallmarks of our law school. Elizabeth Atlee, who goes by Liz, is a leading practitioner at the intersection of law, business, and global policy. She is the Senior Vice President and Chief Ethics and Compliance Officer for CBRE. Her role includes identifying risks and preventing and correcting noncompliance with laws, regulatory requirements, policies, and procedures. She also oversees the firm's data protection and privacy programs. She previously served as CBRE's Deputy General Counsel for Global Litigation, Employment, and Intellectual Property and Data. A champion for elevating underrepresented voices, Liz has been honored with the Professional Achievement Award from the Mexican American Bar Foundation. She has also been recognized 3 times as one of the 50 most powerful Latinas in business, entrepreneurship, and civic engagement by the Association of Latino Professionals for America. Her long list of service includes leadership roles on the USC Gould Board of Councilors, Latino Corporate Directors Association, as well as numerous community organizations and professional associations that advance inclusion and equality. In addition to her JD from USC Gould, Liz also received a BA in Political Science from Yale. Please join me in welcoming Liz Atlee.
So interestingly, and this isn't part of my speech, but as we were lining up to come in, I was talking to Alice, and I said, oh, I work at CBRE. Most people don't know what it is, commercial real estate firm, global. She said, I know CBRE. I deal with it. I'm a lawyer in Australia. And I said, oh, in the government. I have a colleague who went to the government, New South Wales. She said, yes. And I said, I can't remember her name right now, but she's taller than I am. She's litigation. She goes, Somerset. And I said, yes, Somerset Hoy. So standing in the line, just back there, we connected that we know the same person from 2 different parts of our lives. And it turns out that Somerset is Alice's boss in Australia. You never know where the Trojan network will take you or who you'll know through it. So on with the speech. Good afternoon, graduates, esteemed faculty, amazing staff, family, friends, both in person and online. First, I want to give a shout out to my personal cheering section. Okay, here's a quick lesson. Plant a question, applause, something in the audience because it'll loosen you up for your speeches. Thank you, Dean Tolson and the graduates of USC Gould School of Law Graduate and International Program. I am so honored and humbled to be here as your commencement speaker today. But I really hope you'll accept me as more like a peer, maybe a little more seasoned colleague, and perhaps a mentor. I have to start with a confession. I have never written or delivered a commencement speech before. You're my first. Hopefully not my last. We'll see how it goes. So I did what every newbie would do. I went on YouTube. I watched maybe 15 commencement speeches, trying to figure out what was important. I read books of quotes, trying to figure out what would be the right nugget to give to this professional and excellent, curious group of students, graduates. I pulled everything together, I got my tools ready, and I did what every savvy modern writer would do these days. I had AI draft my first draft. Now, while there's very little of that draft left in what I'm delivering to you, it was fun to see how it described me. Apparently, I am someone who lived all over the world and who married a British international banker. Now, that's not only news to me, but my Southern-raised husband doesn't have an accent from the South, much less a suave British accent. While AI makes stuff up, what I found true was that in all of these great motivational speeches, the theme was that you will go out and change the world. I agree. But my spin, and not the AI's, is that the world will change no matter what. Your job is to lean into that. Get that change, make it for the better, and do it fearlessly, curiously, ethically. As you heard in that gracious introduction that also states when I graduated, which was 31 years ago, maybe some of you weren't even born then, but certainly before Gould offered degrees or certificates in privacy and cybersecurity and technology and entrepreneurship. In fact, when I graduated law school, the internet didn't exist. It didn't. Cell phones were as big as shoeboxes and heavier, and I know because someone proudly brought one into a party that we were at, and we were all like, oh, what's that? It was a cell phone. And Amazon was a rainforest in South America. Nonetheless, I'm glad to say that I somehow persisted, and now I am the Chief Global Ethics and Compliance Officer of CBRE, the world's largest commercial real estate services and investment firm. I have the pleasure of overseeing the company's ethics and compliance program, which covers more than 130,000 employees in more than 100 countries. My oversight responsibilities extend to the company's policies around data protection, privacy and cybersecurity, and yes, AI. At some point in my career, I had been a client, consumer, or practitioner of the various degrees that we celebrate you achieving today. Now, as I look around, I know that you represent people at all stages of your professional careers. Several of you have been lawyers or judges here or in another country. And you represent 41 countries. Dean Tolson stole that from my speech. Some of you, like me, represent 2 countries because of your heritage. And because truth is stranger than an AI hallucination, this 5'11" blonde is a Latina. Soy una güera. Viva Mexico. My mother was a proud Mexican who gave me the opportunity, the experience to have lengthy stays in Mexico with my cousins. She encouraged me to speak Spanish, correcting me when I spoke it incorrectly, and taught me the beauty of listening without judgment, all of which have served me very well in my life and my career. So as the world changes with AI and other forces, embrace this change with curiosity. When I sat where you are, I didn't expect to be in this role or this place. But I learned early on that as the world changed, I had to change. Let's see who remembers some of these names. Clap if they're familiar. Kodak. Blockbuster. MySpace. Pac-Man. Not everybody clapped, but the world is constantly evolving. Legal and business environments need to adapt, or they will become irrelevant. And we need to adapt as well. The foundational skills and knowledge that you have acquired in the esteemed G&IP program are invaluable. But these skills are the beginning. They're not the end. The challenge of today's world and the opportunities of tomorrow will require you to keep learning, growing, and evolving. Prepare for it and embrace it. I've been very fortunate in my career to wear many hats, and you heard about some of them. I'm in-house counsel, I've been outside counsel, an employment lawyer, an IP specialist, an internal investigator, an M&A due diligence expert, a data privacy and protection specialist, and now a regulatory and corporate compliance expert. The challenges tied to the unknown and unfamiliar, I've been through all of that. But this perspective has led me to an exciting, interesting career that has kept me looking forward. Being curious isn't always easy, and embracing change can be uncomfortable. But when I reflect over my career, it's clear that curiosity and embracing change are ingredients to a fulfilling 31 years. Embracing change may result in criticism, but hold fast. Now, AI told me to tell you to fail fast and break things. But I'm not going to tell you that exactly. I mean, after all, you probably shouldn't be breaking things. You should be solving things. Let me start with a short story about this. When I started off at CBRE, I embraced a new reporting technology that required the lawyers who I worked with to use software, a new software for reporting. Let me tell you, I was criticized because if it wasn't word perfect, who remembers word perfect? Oh yeah, the faculty. If it wasn't word perfect, it wasn't gonna fly. Believe me, I was not popular with my peers, but with some patience, change management, and begging and cajoling, we got to the point where no one can remember how we used to report. Then I moved on to insisting that our outside counsel use technology-assisted review. It was known as TAR. Well, much like we're lamenting AI today, this was going to spell the end of the law firm. I mean, what would we do with those junior lawyers if they weren't locked away in a basement looking at documents page by page? Clearly, firms still exist, and young talent is now liberated to learn newer technologies. Does anyone know how to write a good AI prompt? My point is that these changes are destined to happen. Do not run from them. Let them spark your curiosity. Use them for good. Use them to change your approach and create innovations in your workplace. Step out of your comfort zone and risk failure. You never know the talents you might discover or the problems you might solve. But as you take the reins of advancement, be an ethical and responsible leader. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Of course I have to say that. I'm the Chief Ethics and Compliance Officer. But it isn't my job. It is my heart. As professionals in this world, we have an unparalleled duty to uphold the rule of law, to protect the rights and interests of our clients, and to act with integrity and professionalism. As graduates of the G&IP program, you have the responsibility to use your global and interdisciplinary perspective to promote justice, diversity, and sustainability around the world. Here are some more names. Elizabeth Holmes, Sam Bankman-Fried, Binance. All of these names represented success, and they were pillars of our society. Yet all of them were unethical, taking shortcuts and disregarding the consequences. You may even have been tempted to do so yourselves. Even I could be standing here telling you all about my life as Chief Compliance Officer in Hong Kong if I had relied only on the speech that the AI drafted. Don't be one of those people. Ethics and integrity are not a badge you wear. They are not just about following rules. They are about exercising judgment, taking actions that reflect your values and principles, doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, even when it is difficult or unpopular. Ethics and integrity mean being accountable for our choices and being transparent and honest with others and ourselves. Trust me, in this fast-paced world where success is measured by what and how fast you accomplish, you will be tempted. But unless you want a room with Sam Bankman-Fried and Lompoc, or whatever they sent it for the next 25 years, remember that as a leader and a role model, you will always benefit by acting with integrity. My final reflection is this: be visible, grateful, and generous. We are very fortunate to have had the opportunity to study at USC Gould. In fact, I'm so fortunate I got the red robe because I graduated from Gould. Gould is one of the most prestigious and innovative law schools in the world. And no matter what path you took to get here, we all have a responsibility to give back and invest in others by sharing our gifts and talents to support and mentor the next generation of lawyers and leaders, and to contribute to the advancement and improvement of our legal profession, our business world, and our society. We also have the responsibility to be visible. At CBRE, I'm the most senior Latina at the company, and in this role, I make myself visible. I serve as the executive sponsor for HOLA, our Latino affinity group, and I make it a priority to speak at events and mentor and network at all levels of the company. And I invest in others as others have invested in me. That is the only way we, as a community, keep moving forward. Steve, who is back there, my husband, not British, and I are proud to put our money where our mouths are. It's been our honor to endow a small scholarship at Gould, where we decided that we needed to help remedy the fact that Latinas and Latinos comprise 36% of California's population, more than a third. Yet, Latinos and Latinas constitute 6% of all licensed attorneys in the state. That has to change. The act of giving back not only helps others, but for me, it is a source of deep satisfaction, meaning, and fulfillment, especially when there is mayhem all around you. So I encourage you to find your own ways of expressing your gratitude and generosity and to discover your own causes and passions. I encourage you to invest into USC Gould and the G&IP program. Pour into your communities and into the lives of others with your talents and generosity. There are big, complex problems to solve in this world, and you, dear graduates, are the problem solvers. In conclusion, congratulations on your graduation. Go out and get those international jobs and marry British investment bankers. I wish you all the best as you harness the power of changing the world for good. You have completed a rigorous program, and you've joined a powerful Trojan network, as evidenced even earlier. You have earned this moment. Celebrate. Always celebrate what is beautiful and hard-earned. Do not postpone joy. As the philosopher Seneca tells us, the whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for the honor of being your commencement speaker. I look forward to seeing how you guide the world as it changes, and to hearing about your successes and stories. And always remember to fight on.